Hi guys, welcome to Lesson World. My name is Shumirai or simply Shumi, and I am Zimbabwean and I am British and I'm based in the United Kingdom. So with me, you will get the best of two nations, you will get the best of two worlds, so stick with me. So our video today is on why I love Zimbabwe, and I'm sure at the end of this video, you will fall in love with the country and you will want to visit it one day. So I got 5 reasons. So reason number 1, I love Zimbabwe for its people. Zimbabwe's people are warm. Zimbabwe's people are warm and welcoming. And I personally think that Zimbabwe's people are a jolly people, a happy people. Having lived in the UK, I've met people from different nationalities, people from Europe, people from Asia, people from the Caribbean, people from the Americas, and other people from Africa. And one thing that has stood out for me is just how Zimbabweans stand out as being a happy people, being a jolly people, being a people who are ready to welcome people with smiles. And that is one thing that makes me love Zimbabwe. I love Zimbabwe and I love my Zimbabwean people, and I think Zimbabweans are great smile ambassadors. They really are smile ambassadors. It's something that is shared by all Zimbabweans, and we grow up in that culture where people greet each other, where people check on each other, and you live like that. It becomes your norm, it becomes your habit, it becomes your learned behavior. So I love Zimbabweans for their warm personalities. If you have met a Zimbabwean who has that warm personality, please put it in the comment section so that we can also know that this fact is true. Still focusing on the people, Zimbabweans come from different regions of the country. So several languages are spoken in Zimbabwe. We've got Shona, we've got Ndebele, we've got Venda, we've got Tonga, we've got Soto. I guess some of you didn't think those languages are spoken in Zimbabwe. We've got Kalanga, we got Tswana, we got Chewa, we got Shangaan, we got Nambia, and we got the lingua franca, which is the language of business and the language used in education in the school system, and that's English. So Zimbabwe is a place where you will feel welcome because you will meet people you can converse with. The majority of Zimbabweans, especially in the urban areas, have a great understanding of English. So Zimbabwe is a great tourist destination if you are English speaking, because you will find somebody who understands you. So that's Zimbabwe and its people. The other thing that I love about Zimbabwe, which is number 2, has to be, I think some of you know it. Could you say it? It's the weather. The weather. Zimbabwe has beautiful weather, and Zimbabwe's average temperature is 25 degrees, and that's just lovely and warm. It's just beautiful. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, and it basically lifts your mood. Maybe that's why Zimbabweans are a smiley, happy people, because we got the sun and we got the happy hormones flowing in our bloodstream. We got the serotonin flowing and endorphins flowing because the sun is just doing its business on us. So I love the weather. I absolutely love Zimbabwe's weather. We do have 4 seasons in Zimbabwe. We've got our summer, we've got our winter, we've got our autumn, and we've got our spring. But even as it is like that, our average temperature is 25 degrees. And just to out of interest, Zimbabwe's two biggest cities have got interesting nicknames. Zimbabwe's capital, Harare, is called Sunshine City, and that just says it for itself. And Zimbabwe's second capital, Bulawayo, people nickname it Skies because of the blue skies that are there. It's just beautiful. Zimbabwe's weather is is awesome. You need to visit Zimbabwe. And number three, the third reason why I love Zimbabwe is Zimbabwe's landscape. Zimbabwe has got landscape that is very, very varied. We got the highlands in the east of Zimbabwe. So I'm talking about places like Mutare, which is the provincial capital of Manicaland, where the Eastern Highlands is. It's almost like Scotland. The mountains, the greenery, the vegetation, it's beautiful. The winding roads up the mountain, places like Chimanimani, it's beautiful. The Zona Tea Estate, Chipinge, I think I've mentioned Chipinge, Mount Selinda, those areas. Eastern Highlands is beautiful. We got the Mtarazi Falls up there in the east. We got the Nyangombe Falls in the east again. We got the Bridal Veil Falls in the east, in the Eastern Highlands. We got Nyanga in Zimbabwe. We got the Nyanga Mountain or Mountain Nyangani. I don't know if the name has changed, but that's Zimbabwe's highest mountain. And absolutely scenic, absolutely scenic. If you follow Africa's biggest travel YouTuber, Wodemeyer, he has featured the Eastern Highlands of Zimbabwe, the Nyanga area, and I will do well to put a link to his video and you can see just how beautiful Zimbabwe is. So Zimbabwe has got the Eastern Highlands where it rains a lot and it's lush and green, and that's where we have our tea estates, where our tea is grown, where our coffee is grown. And Zimbabwe has some of the best coffee in the whole world, some of the best tea in the whole world. And we got a brand of tea called Tanganda, and that's in the east. That's where we also have Tanganda Tea Estate, and it's tea with a difference. So we also have dry regions in Zimbabwe. If you go down to the southeastern part of Zimbabwe, going towards Masvingo, that way you will, like on the Mutare Masvingo highway, you will come to an area called Bechnaf, where we got the Bechnaf Bridge, and it's a dry area. We got many baobab trees growing in the region, and the baobab tree is renowned for its unique shape and its unique fruit. It's fruit which has got great medicinal benefits, and these are trees that are found within that region. So we have got that dry region, and then in places like Wange and going towards Kariba, you've got a lot of savanna land, places like Karoi. You've got a lot of savanna, you got acacia trees, you got musasa trees, you got your long tall grass, your elephant grass. And in these areas, that's where you see animals. You see the big five, you see your lions, you see your elephants, you see your rhinos, and it's just beautiful. So Zimbabwe's landscape is varied. You got the savanna, as I said, the Eastern Highlands, you got the dry region with the baobab. So it's really quite varied and beautiful. And because the landscape is so varied, we got different trees and flowers that grow in the different regions. We got different animal species that are found, and that just makes Zimbabwe a country of so much ecological diversity. The other reason why I love Zimbabwe, which is reason number 4, is the food. Zimbabwe's food is just tasty, naturally tasty. It's organic, and I can vouch, I can say that the times that I've actually traveled back home to Zimbabwe and I've eaten my food, I actually taste the difference. You know, the Sainsbury's tagline, taste the difference. When you go to Zimbabwe, you actually experience the difference of Zimbabwean food. And for example, if I eat chicken here in the UK, I will need about 2 pieces of chicken to actually feel full. But when I have gone to Zimbabwe, I just need to eat 1 piece of chicken, and the chicken is so tasty, and with 1 piece I am full. There's just a difference in quality. There's a difference in quality in the chicken, a difference in quality with the beef, and that's my personal experience. I don't know if any of you have been to Zimbabwe or are Zimbabweans and they've tried the food and they've noted any difference. For me, the food quality is really one reason why I love Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe is an agricultural based economy. So there's a lot of cattle farming, there's a lot of dairy farming, and people are into large-scale farming, which took a dive in the noughties and is now slowly but surely recovering, and sooner or later Zimbabwe will be back to its status of being the breadbasket of Africa. That is my hope, and I'm sure that's the hope of many Zimbabweans, and that's the hope of many people who love Zimbabwe. So if Zimbabwe continues to improve in its agricultural sector, I am sure many people around the world will get the chance to eat food from Zimbabwe as the food gets exported to their countries. And the final reason why I love Zimbabwe is its potential. And Zimbabwe is a country with a lot of potential. And the first thing that comes to mind is Zimbabwe's mining sector. Zimbabwe is a country rich in minerals. We are rich in gold, and I am sure that many of you know that Zimbabwe is a nation with gold deposits, and especially the past couple of weeks, past couple of days, it's been in the media that Zimbabwe is a gold-rich nation. Zimbabwe is rich in minerals, and it's not just gold. We've got platinum, we've got nickel, we've got silver, we've got asbestos, we've got iron, we've got tin, we've got diamonds, we've got copper, we've got tungsten. So Zimbabwe is a minerally rich nation, and that's a blessing that our country has. So Zimbabwe's got a lot of potential in terms of mining, in terms of setting up mines, people getting licenses to mine, and refineries being built, and more jobs being created in the mining sector. The other potential that Zimbabwe has is in its tourism sector, and this feeds into the point I mentioned about Zimbabwe's landscape and ecological diversity. So Zimbabwe has wonderful places like the Victoria Falls, Great Zimbabwe, and the Eastern Highlands, the national parks like Hwange National Park, Gonarejo National Park, Lion and Cheetah Park, all these parks. But these are just a few parks, and I believe that with the right investment, Zimbabwe will have more. So there is so much that can be done in the tourism sector that will make Zimbabwe even greater and better than what it is today in 2023. And I love that about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's potential in tourism. So if you are interested in tourism, I think it'll be good to do your research and find ways to break into Zimbabwe's tourism sector. Actually, talking about tourism, I was thinking about how Zimbabweans in the diaspora, like I am, it will be good if our government can give us give us give us an easier route to invest in the tourism sector. Let's say we want to open hotels, we want to open B&Bs in the country. It'll be good if it can be made simpler for Zimbabwean nationals within Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe to actually build such businesses. I think this is an area that is ripe for exploitation. Another area where Zimbabwe has got great potential is the health sector. And I am a qualified nurse and a qualified midwife here in the United Kingdom. And there's many Zimbabweans like me who, when they moved outside of Zimbabwe, they embarked in healthcare in countries like Canada, Australia, neighboring countries like South Africa, Zambia. And I believe that all this knowledge that Zimbabweans now have in healthcare is an area of so much great potential. Our country's health system can become bigger and better than what it is today because of all the richness of skills and knowledge that Zimbabweans now have from working in different nations and working with people from different backgrounds and working with different levels of technology within the health sector. So this is an area to keep an eye on, and it's an area of great potential. And for that, I love Zimbabwe. And the final reason under potential is education. Zimbabwe is a country which back in the 90s also was rated one of the most literate countries in the world, one of the countries with the highest literacy rate. And Zimbabwe's literacy rate is still fairly high, and many of Zimbabweans teachers are honored and respected globally because of how good they are at their job. And this is an area where there is so much potential. More schools can be built in Zimbabwe, more universities, more colleges can be built in Zimbabwe, and the ones that are there can actually be improved to become better, and Zimbabwe can actually export its knowledge, its expertise, its talent in education to other countries. So these are the reasons why I love Zimbabwe. And if you have got more reasons why you love Zimbabwe, feel free to share them in the comment section and we can have a discussion on these extra reasons why you love Zimbabwe. If you liked this content, please hit the subscribe button. And if there are any topics you want me to cover about Zimbabwe or the United Kingdom where I am based, kindly leave them in the comment section for me and I will consider them. So thank you for joining Lesson World, and I will catch you again next time. Stay blessed, have a wonderful weekend, keep loving, keep learning, and ciao.